host, Sean Aaron, and welcome to Dem Bois Podcast. This show is a platform where trans men of color voices can be amplified as we share our transitional stories and many other issues that are relatable to trans men of color in our existence. This show is not only to amplify our voices, but to raise awareness and conversation around our lived experiences.
My next guest I had the privilege to sit down with is an entrepreneur, an artist, and a musician. This guest transitioned at 50 years old. So within this episode, we talked about transitioning later in life. We also discussed dating, and we discussed transitioning as identifying from a heterosexual woman to now a gay trans man. This is a really juicy conversation. We have some really good stuff that we discuss in this episode. I hope that you enjoy. Hey, this is Sean Aaron, the host of Dem Bois Podcast. Are you enjoying the podcast so far? Great. I'm glad that you are. Would you consider donating today to help support the continuation of this podcast? As you know, this podcast aims to serve as a platform to highlight and amplify the voices of trans men of color and share our transition stories. The podcast not only aims to amplify trans men of color voices, but it also raises awareness around our lived experiences. You would like to donate? Where can you donate? Great. I'm glad that you asked. Link in our description will take you directly to Network for Good, whom we've partnered with in order to collect donations for the podcast. Or you can visit our website. On the website, click the donate button, and from there, you are able to donate directly to the podcast. All donations are tax deductible. What does the donations go to? Oh, I'm glad that you asked. Your donation will help to support our production costs. We are working with Jasmine from Pink Lady Productions that brings you this awesome content. And also, we pay our guests an honorarium. Pay our guests an honorarium? Yes, we do. Why? Because as trans men of color, we would like to support and uplift each other and honor the time that's given out to come here and share their stories. So if you love this podcast, share and donate. See you on the next episode. Take care. Welcome to Dem Bois Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Aaron, he, him, his. My next guest is an entrepreneur, an artist, and a musician. And this is another guest. I haven't had too many guests on the show that transition later in life and is a little bit older than me. So welcome to the show.
Hey, Sean, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really honored to be here, and to all my trans brothers and sisters listening out there. This is a great movement. My name is Micah, and I go by he, him. And yeah, a little bit older, probably a lot older.
A lot older.
I transitioned late in life, and but I didn't transition late in my heart. But my medical transition was only 3 years ago. So I've been on testosterone about 2 years now, and the top surgery was done immediately. They usually say, "Why didn't you do testosterone first?" And my surgeon was frustrated because I was a little on the heavy side too. And but I said it has to go. The dysphoria was right there. So
yeah,
that's where it all began for me, and I am here, and I'm very grateful, and especially for this safe platform. It's only the beginning. I appreciate you. You're going to blow up. And I know it, Sean, because all the love here, I feel it. So thanks for having me.
I appreciate that. Thanks for that encouraging word and that foresight. I appreciate that. It ain't even about being famous. I just want more people to listen to the show, more guests to come on, more trans men of color to share their stories. That's the goal.
That's all I'm referencing. Yep.
Yeah. So Micah, where are you from?
I'm a native Angelino, down the old school from Los Angeles, literally. Went to all school, private Catholic school, even all girls school. So that was a challenge. And everything was in LA, literally. Born and raised there.
Wow.
But right now I'm in Torrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the name Micah, how did that name choose you?
Well, what is commonly known today, the dead name, the name I was born with, is the feminine version of Michael. Hebronic, Michael, whatever, however you want to say it, Hebrew, Old Testament, Torah. Micah, it's pronounced Micah. The book of Micah is actually a prophet, literally included in the Torah, which I think the Old Testament Christian Bible has it too. And it means the same. So it's essentially, I like what Michael is. I like the concept of what Michael is in modern Christianity. And I'm not associating, but what I'm saying is like, I took that and I saw that name, and then I researched it and found out that both cis male and cis female are named this name. And I liked the unification of that. It took away the feminine sounding of the birth name I had, because it isn't matching this face. It isn't matching my vibe. It isn't matching where I'm going in life. But it kept what initially really meant what it was. And I preferred to use it. I said it to a couple of friends and they're like, oh, that's it. And I didn't try it out because I tried it out on them, but I already made my decision. And some people get confused. They say like, is it Mika or is it Micah? And I got some people that say Micah because it's more associated with Michael. And if they hit the head, and that's fine by me. Mika, usually I got people who are like, they just know, and like old school understanding that the pronunciation is Mika, and they've had some people they know named Mika, so they call me that, and I don't care either way, which is weird, but I don't care.
So what do you prefer? What is it preferred?
Yeah, Micah, just keep it short because it's closely related to Michael, and it's vibes. It's more masculine vibe.
Gotcha. So
Thanks for asking.
Yeah. So you transitioned later in life. So you said medically transitioned 3 years ago, right?
Yes.
So being an older person, I transitioned in my early to mid 30s. So you got a lot of life prior to transitioning. You want to share their transition story from like beginning up until now? However it started for you, because at first you said it, mentally, so
yeah, in my
wherever
heart,
in your life you want to start.
Well, in my heart, it just wasn't right, just from the beginning. My time, we always heard if you were a born female and you played rough or you wanted to play basketball or whatever, then you were a tomboy. So I guess whatever made family comfortable, that was kind of my title, unbeknownst to me for a while. That I was just a tomboy. That's what they call it. And I just always prefer being around males, doing it male way. It wasn't a conscious choice when you're 6 years old. I want to do that just because it's a guy thing. I just gravitated. It was just natural. I didn't want to play my younger sisters with their Barbie dolls. Sometimes I had the attitude that it was ludicrous. To go outside, I used to just, I don't know, I was just outside, just playing, just with the ball, just just getting dirty. It just felt natural. That's just all I wanted. When I had to speak to my therapist, to get set up for my medical transition, and usually they take a while to, they got to see you a couple of times. But this childhood story I told her made her sign the papers right away. And when I was a kid, I was about, I don't know, 11, 12. I was chasing my sister throughout the house. It was summertime. And she was Wonder Woman, and I was Superman. And just cutting through the house, just being just kids, just chasing whatever. I don't even remember the context. And I didn't have a shirt on. And my sister ended up jumping to go outside. And so I was going to follow her. And so I went to follow her and I jumped outside. And all of a sudden, I just stopped dead in my track. In the backyard of the house, across the alley, is apartments. So the upper floor can see down on our backyards on the block. For some reason, I don't know if that was just puberty kicked in or what, because I was budding by them at that point, chest area. I instantly felt I had to cover because somebody could see me. And I was so distraught by that thought and the fact that I can't even explain it, because the childhood mind, I can't explain why. I reacted so badly. I took my fist and I punched with both hands. I punched the house, hard as out. Okay. And I was just shot down. My sister was calling on me. Where are you? Where are you? And I literally just went in the room, and I was in the room all day, put a shirt on. And it was this realization that it's like I lost this freedom, because now I have to, and I'm only putting adult words to this because I can't say what was thought then. And I got to act like a lady. And when I told that story, the therapist signed a paper that says, "You waited long enough."
Wow.
I almost cried on it.
Wow. So you were running around the house like that. Your caregivers or parents at that time, or whoever was raising you, was there any like instructions on what to do or what not to do, or you was just allowed to just be free and be yourself at that time?
Yeah, my mom's was there. It was a summer day. We were all, it was a hot summer day. It was one of them classic houses in West LA that didn't have air conditioning or whatever. So we aired out the house as much as possible. Back door was open, no shirt on. And yeah, it was not like I was, really out there. It was just not even training bra level, but it was still perking, and it was something that was noticeable. And I can't understand when that happened, why that switch happened in my head. Because throughout the house, it was an issue. Because it was just, and I only had two sisters, so my father was at work, so that could have been too. I don't know why, but it wasn't anything extreme going on up top there. So she didn't see anything of it.
So I'm glad that was like, I hate that you had to experience that. And we all have those moments of shifts in our life, and being young, and like to be that young and be aware of your body and where your body fits into this gender, this gender binary of the world is kind of strange. So it was many years has passed, and I'm glad that story helped you to get your, the therapist to sign a letter right away. You didn't have to jump through all the hoops like some people have to do. So now, fast forward into now, like 3 years ago, how did that shift happen for you then? So you waited all that time. So how did the shift the last 3 years happen?
This will trip you out, and this is going to lead into probably how we connected in the first place. I spent a lot of time around gay men when I got in my 20s, and I enjoyed the just, I don't know, I just had the best fun and the best clubs and everything, and it became my family. But what floored me is that the entire time, a good decade, 15 years straight, social life with a lot of gay men, my best friends, I had no idea about female to male transition. It never crossed. I have been white parties. I have been to, I practically lived in West Hollywood every weekend. I've always heard about uh, the cis men transition. How far that went, it was never discussed either. It never crossed my plate. Part of it is too that I spent all my life as a heterosexual cis female. So I don't know. I don't know if I was blinded by it or it just was a taboo thing then. I have no idea how. But to answer your question, I came into around at age 49. I saw on YouTube a trans man for the first time. 6-pack. That he had markers in his chest that he got removed, and I was floored. What? You could do that? And I went through, just barreled and just dove deep, went to YouTube and just, I had a moment. I was on a train, I was going to work, and I caught a video of trans man was talking to another trans man about his experience and his pain with his father, and he was going through the whole process of him wanting to, change his body and everything. So that's where I got to hear this was something we can do. And I'm in that train, I broke down tears because that was when I said, I'm going to do this. And I'm like hiding and I'm like, I'm going to do this. As petrified, I said, I'm going to do this. And that happened at age 49. And then I started about a year researching online. And then I heard that my insurance covers it. That was another awakening. What? We're okay enough that there's insurance that covers us? What? And so going through that and all the emotional processes, I'm sure you, Sean, and the audience is very familiar with. Before we do it, or even thinking about it, or saving money up for it, or getting up the strength to contact a therapist. I've never seen a therapist before. Probably needed to, but you barrel through life, And October 2020 is when I had my top surgery, and that day 7 after that surgery was, and anyone guy that knows that got that done, that's that reveal. Oh my gosh, is amazing. And that was where I said I can never turn back in my mind. This is who I am, and this is the way it's going to be. And yeah.
This is the best feeling in the world. I don't even think I waited to day 7. I waited to day 7 to take my dressing off, of course, but that feeling, like when you stand up and it's literally like weight off of your chest, literally. Your heart, your chest, and it's like, you stand up and it's like a different feeling. Of course, you got to get used to it, right? Because it's like your equilibrium is off because especially when you're older. So you used to stand in a certain way. You know what I mean? Like
the hunched shoulder.
Yeah. And I remember I talked about this before of like when I had top surgery, I had to figure out how to sleep because I didn't know how to sleep anymore. I was a side sleeper. And so I'm used to, I guess I would say your breast, your chest, whatever, just leaning over to the side. My chest was horrible, to be honest with you. They were ugly as hell. So And that's where my arms rested. So after top surgery, I was like, well, what the fuck do I do with these arms? I don't know what the hell to do.
Right. I'm all crunched.
Yeah. So now I'm a back sleeper because shit, I guess I don't know. I just don't know. I don't feel comfortable on my side anymore. So I want to ask you about insurance because you know, you realize how much of a privilege that is to.
That's it. See, and I exactly, and I do, and I am very grateful, and I don't mention it often. But I'm doing this in thorough, just trying to be thorough with the whole experience, because I hear the stories and people spending years saving up money, and it's like, it just shouldn't be. It should be that way because it is for our mental health that we get this, and I call it this health. It's it's you got to get past the taboo thing. This is humanity, and we are a part of it, and it is diverse. However we were raised, there was no diversity. I mean, just look at the birds and the different types of plants. A tree is not a tree. One species, a different type of species. It's got its own way of growing. Nature is diversified. There's a uniqueness. We're no different. Humanity. And it shouldn't be this type of struggle. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. And I don't really like to say it often that I have this opportunity through my insurance, because there are many that are in the struggle. Just to be seen, just to get the estrogen or testosterone, let alone the surgery. And I work closely. I mean, I'm not involved. I mean, I get involved on some of the free things that they need help with and volunteer. But the Long Beach Health Center and Long Beach Pride location there, they're very, very helpful for helping to find resources, to see if we can, some of us can get our estrogen or testosterone for free, and the services are out there and they need to be supported.
Yeah, that is definitely a blessing, and it resonates with me because I was also blessed as well. That my insurance paid for mine. And for folks listening who don't know, the Dem Bois is not just about this podcast. It's also about the mission of why I started this organization, is to provide financial assistance to trans men of color who can't afford surgery, who need gender affirming surgery, but just, you go and you trying to save your money and you trying to balance out life and family and all of these things. And it's just we shouldn't have to do that. We should be able to live. I love how you put it, nature is diverse and so are we. And that's so true. It's like just the medical industry in general, medical insurance. It's like, this is something people are dealing with their egos, really, right? You're talking about insurance companies that don't want to provide certain things to people because however they feel, and they using it with their business, right? It's like it should be a human right to be who you are and to feel comfortable in your body and to be healthy, mental health, everything, right? It's like people are gatekeeping, I feel like, with medical insurance and not allowing folks to just live.
Yeah, they need to. There's so many elements there. There's upbringing, environmental, whoever signing the papers, doing the coding. There's their interpretation of what we are, and being in California, there are still pockets, I'm sure, where there are challenges there. It is a little better than some other states, I gotta say. And all the power to those who are speaking out in those states that are really resistant, way more resistant than probably we could vision here in California. And they're still stepping up, standing up for themselves. amidst all that, I say, stale energy. I mean, some places I probably wouldn't fly there, and they're standing up for their pride. And, my voice is going down because I feel for it. Because I was given this opportunity within a very short window when I decided to do this. And some of my brothers are waiting years. And I just wanted to say I respect that. I see it. I see the struggle. When I recovered from my top surgery, I had a lot of medical assistant equipment left over, stuff that costs money for healing, and gauzes and a whole bunch of other stuff. I just got a lot of extra stuff left over. I just took it to the center and said, dropped it off. Just whoever needs it. I had extra bonded thing for. See, I never did that.
Binding.
The binding, yeah. They had given me some kind of binding thing to hold, and I went with the other wrapper, but they never took it back. So I just brought all that to the center, all unopened stuff, and said, here, any of our trans men that are going through this surgery, give this to them. So they don't need to be buying it. It was the best I could do at that point in time. But and I want to keep doing these things to help out, because our community, the struggle's real, and some challenges, with the medical industry, but that some of them get it and some of them don't, and then they change their policy. There's that confusion, and I've seen that go on with a couple of people that have been in some of my groups that I attend to. And that's unfortunate. So I certainly hope it turns around. Something's got to give.
Yeah, most definitely. People
saves our lives.
Yeah. We need to keep standing up. We need to keep talking about it and keep showing up and petitioning against things and all this stuff.
Especially trans men of color.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always something that lasts on the totem pole for something if you're melanated. I'm recessive melanin. But I came up in the same school as you. My folks is Creole, Black, Native American, tons of other stuff. But it doesn't matter. Those that see you, see you. My heart, I associate with being a Black trans man. So that's that.
It needs no explanation. So let's go back just a little bit. You said that you grew up and you went to an all-girls school. How was that for you?
First word that comes out of my mouth, the 16-year-old said it. It comes out of my head, so I'm going to bring it out. Annoying.
What made it annoying? Talk more.
There were no males. If it wasn't for my basketball coach, I was losing it. I was the jock of the school. Was Catholic, so I had to wear a skirt. Hated it. That's a reference. You probably not that. You too young for that.
Oh no, I know that reference. Some of the people listening may not know that reference, but I do. I'm not that far behind you. I'm about to be 42, so yeah, I know that reference.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. I just thought I went through those years just saying I'm going to have to live with it. And being heterosexual, labeled heterosexual, I had its challenges because I had another nature in that vein. But at the same time, I had the attraction. So there was the part I was supposed to play. And then there was I was a gray area for me. I wasn't, and I think maybe that's probably why most of the guys I dated, they were in the gym. Because they weren't scared of me because they were weightlifters, and the chances of we met in the gym. So they just saw a person who wanted to be healthy and work out, and they were attracted by it. Other than that, it was a struggle for me all the time to look the part, so that I had the attention of that gender based on what society says I'm supposed to look like to get that attention. And a lot of that started in high school, of course. And I had a high school boyfriend, and it was okay, but there was always that nag that I just had to always be something else. I had to sit a certain way when I was on a date. I had to, make sure I did this, or my hair was longer then. So, I did this a couple of times so I can look cute. And I realized that it was all conscious decisions to do this. It wasn't natural. So it was frustrating because it was a catch-22, because it was unlike what we hear a lot, that a lot of our trans men were labeled lesbians before the transition. For me, I just wanted to be what I am right now, but still attract the opposite sex. And that's like, that couldn't happen in my world. That was unheard of. Plus, I didn't even know I had this opportunity in high school and stuff. Just the only good thing about the high school, to go back to that, was my sports. I just got lost in the athleticism. I guess that's where I was able to release a lot of the masculine energy that came natural for me. I had ability that was natural. I wish they tested testosterone levels back then, because I can't imagine what mine was at the time. Because when I started testosterone, I started realizing the hair growth that I had in certain areas on my arms and stuff. I had that when I was a teenager. So I wondered if my testosterone levels were higher than so-called normal for cis females at the time. So yeah, I won a lot of trophies. How's that?
Hey, this is Sean Aaron. I'm the founder and executive director of Dem Bois Inc. I am also the host of Dem Bois Podcast. As you may know, Dem Bois provides financial assistance to trans men of color in order for them to obtain gender-affirming surgery. We have great news. We're currently looking for volunteers to help support our programs. Our programs include our gender-affirming surgery grant program and also our personal care package program. We personally curate packages filled with personal hygiene items. Just to name a few, things like tissue, soap, towels, toothpaste, and toothbrushes. We mail them out to trans men of color across the country who may be in need of help caring for their personal hygiene needs. We are looking for volunteers to help raise funds to support our programs. Also, we're looking for someone locally to the Bay Area to help us put all of the care packages together. If our mission is something that resonates with you and you would like to help support our work, just let us know. You can send an email to hello@dembois.org. That is HELLO@DEMBOIS.org. And we will get back to you with further details. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the next episode. How tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
Ah, you taller than me. Okay, so that's why you excelled in basketball. I played basketball in high school, but I'm 5'3", and that ain't good for basketball.
That doesn't mean anything. You just go right between the legs. That's it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I felt self-conscious about it. So that's another thing. So you taller than me, so I feel like taller people kind of get a break when it comes to basketball than me. Nobody taking me. I'm 5'3", nobody taking me serious. They like, you can't block me, no nothing. I ain't taking you serious.
Yeah, but then that makes you a shooter then. And then and also you get underestimated. You'll always be open.
I wish I had that thought process in high school. I was just self-conscious about it. I didn't. Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can respect it.
Yeah. So let's talk about dating a bit. So you said that you've always been attracted to men. So you dated as a heterosexual woman. So now as a trans identified man, are you still dating in the same way?
It's almost like I can. It is very challenging out there because I am now in the gay male community in a different way that I haven't ever been. I'm on the other side of the tracks visually now. And haven't had been the you go girl for 15 years in the club is you're one of the guys sitting on the bar and you're being looked at. And I get plenty of attention. I do. I get it. I'm very grateful by how things are developing. But it's almost like a sales pitch gone wrong. You never close. That's a weird way to put it, but it just came to mind.
Talk about that a little bit more. What do you mean by that?
It's kind of like many find out that I'm trans, and I've had them just literally make an about face and walk. I've been talking to them for an hour. I've had high five. Hey man, it was great talking to you. All right, you know what? Listen, I think I'm gonna head out, and I see them later on the other side of the club. They didn't go anywhere. And then there's a couple of people that know, and I could tell they tell them somebody who's interested in, and then you just see it. And so it's kind of like you get a lot of shade. And then there are those who kind of, they really want to get to know. They're so-called they're impressed, like, oh wow, you look, okay. So it's kind of breaking that barrier. There's different reactions to me. I think I would say to us, because I'm sure I can't be the only one out there, because I don't hear too many of our voices where we are transitioning and still looking at men. Because it's straight males on the general, that's not, because the way I look, that's not what they're looking for. So there's an understanding if, you are a gay male, cis gay male, and there's something you want, and if that's not provided, it's understandable. That's where your attraction lies. So it's a catch-22. And when I brought it to your attention, because I liked your work, and I said, hey, maybe you can get somebody on to talk about this topic, because I don't hear much about it or get any kind of more of advice or what we can do or how we can what others have done to bypass this situation. But I'm also finding myself more camaraderie with trans men now, and that's an avenue I haven't really looked into, but I'm not averse to, which is unique and new for me in my transition. So yeah, it's challenging. I go out, I go on a date or something, but it just doesn't. Yeah, it's kind of we should look into this. Hey, let's meet up again, kind of thing or something. Yeah, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one with that.
So what do you feel that needs to shift or change? So I guess this is reaching a bit, because I'm talking about cis gay men. In order to, I don't want to say welcome us, because we don't need nobody to welcome us into they club, right? We stand on our own as trans men of color. But what do you think? What needs to be the conversation had, or the shift that needs to change within cisgender gay men in order to have relationships or be open to have relationships with trans men?
I feel that, and I know it's a hard one, but for relationship wise, there's that shallowness, there's that just, and that could be with anybody in any group, okay? But it's sort of like, okay, they're not looking for a relationship. I get it, and they're looking for just one night stand, and they have in their minds what they want. And you don't want to be tripping with those anyway. It's but then sometimes you do. I mean, everybody's different, it's but I think that just more of a, hey, wait a minute, because there's a lot of things out there, and I'm trying to keep it rated G that
We don't have to. We don't have to.
There's a lot of stuff that can take care of that business. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's like, really, to be honest with you, I mean, there's some serious. There's just really no reason to feel, that there's too much missing. You know what I'm saying for that, and possibly there's a stigma or there's that an instant reaction, because we're a lot more visible now, right, than we've ever been. And I owe that to from Stonewall all the way to here, and everyone that has, marched and stood up for us. And we're just more out there, and they've been confronted with more of us. And I think getting past the stigma that you're that last minute call at midnight on Grindr, that we're a little more than that. That because we're like that new trick kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, it would be an interesting balance. It'd be a unique thing for them to, everyone's different, so I'm trying to find the words that it would be worth looking into, getting past that initial thing, because there's plenty of stuff out there to take care of that. But if they're focused specifically, only on the physical and that particular aspect of what they want in a relationship, then that wouldn't be fulfilling anyway. But the take from it is that if there are cis gay men listening, there's a lot of us that aren't, we just never were, it's not that feminine energy. There are some gay men that are friends that have more feminine energy than I ever had or could ever have. I need them to balance me out. So it's interesting that it's the initial reactions. They see us maybe more integrated into the community, and not as another, not just see us as another letter, another tag on to the scene, or to the queer scene, and because these labels is messing with all of our heads, everybody's head. I mean, we need them because we have to differentiate ourselves, because we're in an oppressive environment, if you will. So I'm not knocking it. However, the individual has to get past it and see, okay, this person has a lot of these attributes that I like. Yes, maybe that one particular thing, but I see all the other things that come with it. I like it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like taking a little more of that time out and say, this is another brother here, and kind of see it for what it is. And then there's stepping outside of your box. And I feel that there are some gay men out there that are like that, or their hearts, or they're open or whatever. And if it comes their way, you know, that's unique. So I'm not generalizing saying everybody's that way. And plus, I'm new on the scene. Let's don't get it twisted. I'm new on the scene, so I haven't really made my rounds this way as who I authentically am. In a circle I have been around for 10 plus decades on the regular. So I'm not bringing down our gay male community. However, it has I have come into some serious challenges and not so great responses.
I think it's a couple of things I want to say. First thing is, as a gay man, I think that you have to learn. I'm talking about as a cis gay man, you would have to learn how to love somebody beyond just what somebody has below the waist, physically, like below the waist. We talking about love and relationships and somebody that's gonna be there for you and hold you and the things that you're looking for. It goes way beyond just what somebody can give you in that way. So it's looking beyond that. And I also think that now we have a lot more language and a lot more ways to talk about it and explain ourselves. I mean, me personally, I knew before I transitioned as a feminine embodied person. I wasn't ever feminine. I was always masculine. I know that physically I never wanted to be with a cisgender man. But then once I transitioned, I kind of learned myself a little bit differently. And I knew that, okay, well, as a masculine person, I don't mind being with another man or cisgender man or whatever. But that I had to shift and I had to learn myself first. I think that's another thing. Like people, you have to really, as a person, you have to really learn yourself of like, what is it that you want? What are you really looking for? And you had mentioned Grindr. I don't think that I don't know. Maybe somebody would be lucky to just like, oh, I found love on Grindr. But
No, that was a joke.
Okay.
That was thrown in there. Somebody's laughing. I hear it. I heard it. I threw it out there for a joke to lighten it up.
Yeah, okay, because that's definitely ain't gonna happen.
It was not a shameless plug, okay?
Yeah, but it's definitely like a shift in how of what you're looking for in a person. And it may just be beyond there was a writer, and I put it in the show notes that wrote love beyond the erection. I think that's what the title of it was, but it's like learning to love, and this is from a cisgender gay man who loves trans men, and he had to learn how to love men beyond an erection because it's more to loving a man than just that. So, and just like you said, also, it's like there's other ways to do things. I saw a post the other day on Instagram. A trans guy it was like a thing to cisgender gay men also of like, hey, just because I'm a trans man does not mean, and maybe I have the anatomy that I was born with, doesn't mean I want to be a bottom either. So it's all about conversation.
Exactly.
It's all about, being, well, I've said this before too, of like, I want to be with somebody that I don't got to answer all them goddamn questions. You already know what it is you're looking for. You know who I am and what I mean, if I walked into the room and you know nothing about me, I'm a man, right? So it's like, I want somebody that know me for me, and you already know what you're looking for. So you don't have to ask me all 15 questions. You know what I mean? So it's like, you sure of yourself and you sure of what I have and that it's going to work or it ain't going to work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like being real with yourself too. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's interesting hearing that about you, Sean, about you there. For me to make that statement too, that trans men, I would even, consider dating as well, is regardless of anything they've done downstairs. And that's like, whoa, wow, that's interesting, and it's the discovery part. I mean, we all should be writing books. I mean, we exist, we're helping humanity. Let's just call it out. Ancient cultures, Native American cultures, some tribes still have recollection. They tell stories of it. Samoans, I think it's Samoans, have a third gender. East Indians have a third gender. These ancient cultures, they know about us. We exist. It's this one we're breaking. It's this one here, this culture that we're waking up, rising up, it's frequency. You know, we're by default, I feel we're existing and doing that through our own struggles, you know. Like what you just said right there and what you're doing, you know, to write a book. I keep getting hit by that. I should write a book. They tell me, you know, with my life experiences. But, you know, it's right now the book's being written, and that's each and every person who's transitioning medically or not medically. And that just exists. That is alive the next day and thriving, doing their thing. That's the book. It's being written all the time, you know. But yeah, anyway, I'm going off on the deep end. But, you know, I think that's a great approach. And I'd be interested in reading that guy's book too. And that's the same for me. You know, I just reacting that just because, you know, down below isn't there doesn't mean that necessarily that would be a relationship. I would be in a relationship with that person and not do it because but you don't have, you know. So it's the same thing. It just works both ways, you know. But there's always going to be those who just is strictly, you know, and then there's that's how I was. There was like there's lesbian wouldn't have, when I was younger, lesbian wouldn't have a chance. But I had a deep voice. My voice, testosterone really lowered it. I'm really grateful, but it was low before. I was called sir all the time on the phone. I just had a lot of masculine energy, just exuded it, even regardless of what outfit I put on or tried to look the part. And I would get approached by a lot because I'm in the gay community. But I'd be approached by a lot of cis females, you know, and they'd be like, I reacted rudely. I say, are you kidding? But it's like, well, you know, you in their territory. What the hell are you kidding? You know, what are you doing here? You know, take yourself down to Sunset or something. But yeah, it was, I was very regiment too. So I had the compassion, I had the understanding of why, you know, gay men, they just say, hey, that's it, you know, that's it. This is what I want. You don't have it, and it's not working. We can be friends, you know. And I understand that. So I'm coming from that open heart, because we're unique. And just as you and I both, we find ourselves changing our taste, the flavor. And that's interesting in itself. It's like it's uncharted territory. Absolutely. In society and for us.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I do hope that you know, it does. There's more understanding of us, and I welcome the questions. They're not too, you know, imposing. You know, when I'm at the club or whatever, it's just more understanding aspect of it. And but you know, I hope one day it lightens up and I'll meet someone.
I hope that you do, and that you will, actually, you will, and somebody that loves you for you, and that's just it. No other questions asked. I want to go back with you where you mentioned about different cultures having a third gender and all of that, and I wanted to tie that to colonization, because colonization worldwide was built on oppression, and it only works due to oppression. So you got to oppress all things that are different outside of the oppressor in order for it to work. And so that's where a lot of this stuff was lost. A lot of it was, the translations was lost, and how we are today, how people have arrived where we are today, of not loving and accepting each other, however we come. And I know a lot of times you hear people say, well, I know, like a grandma will say, God don't make no mistakes. Well, I mean, hey, God don't make mistakes if you believe in God. So however I am is just how I am, right?
And it's not a mistake.
Anyway, yeah, it's not a mistake. I'm not a mistake. So it's all about finding love. I hope, I want you to. Love is a beautiful thing when you find it, and it's reciprocated. So definitely. Do you have any advice for someone who may be listening? I know you earlier you tried to give the disclaimer about you being new to this, but you got a lot of life experience. So I know you got some wisdom to pass on. So you want any advice you want to give to somebody that's listening?
Brothers, the advice is literally just do not stop in your heart what you're doing for yourself, with who you are. Be honest with who you are. And the world, you will be creating the world, or you are creating the world that you want to live in, as long as you stay true to yourself. And yes, you're going to hear of opposition. You're going to hear of challenges circling around you that they have issues with your existence. But you don't take it in. You don't bring it in. You don't bring it into what's sacred in here. And I'm pointing to the heart. You can't see. You keep that sacred. You keep that at your best interest, and always stay focused on you, what makes you happy. You're a happy person, and attract. When I say happy, I'm not talking about slappy happy. I'm talking about you just see the gratitude of existing, who you are. You may not have had your surgery yet. You may not have even been able to get seen to start the process. Doesn't matter. That doesn't validate who you are inside. That's a part of it, and it helps. Stay true to you inside. Doesn't matter. All the time, 24/7. You wake up first thing. You find something good about you waking up. What you see in your room, what you see in your life. And I'm saying this because that's a process I had to do every day. I had to do that when I didn't know about this opportunity to look how I could look how been wanting to look my whole life. And now I still practice it because there's always going to be something to fear, but you don't have anything to fear if you got what's inside is solid. You got solid ground, and that you love yourself, and whatever the challenges are out there, like that's what I've been talking about today. But I still come home, and I'm not sad. I'm not disappointed because I left in love with myself. I come back in love with myself. So stick to that. Have your pride of who you are, and surround yourself with people who love you for who you are, and you will always thrive. Always. It might be in small bits, might be in big chunks, but that's the way it goes. That's the name of the game. That's how you can. I don't know. I'm just rumbling on because I'm in the middle of this myself, and it's a work in progress every single day, and I understand the struggle. And I may have come a little further than some of y'all, or some of y'all a lot further than me, but it's still the same. I can see heads are nodding. You just love yourself. Be true to yourself, and continue to listen to these podcasts and support Sean, what he's doing here, because he's got your back. He's got you, and support him on Instagram and everything, because this is what's going to help us feel strong in our convictions of who we are, and whatever's going on the outside, it doesn't matter.
Well said. Thank you. So,
no problem.
This is a part of the show where I like to ask the guests a random question. And so my list now is at 29. So the question may or may not have anything to do with what we talked about today. So just go ahead and pick a number between 1 and 29, and then I'll read that question off to you.
All right. 27.
Okay. 27 says, do you have a completely random what if question? Like it could be about anything in life. You're like, I wonder why that is, or whatever it is. Just a complete random what if question. I got one if you want me to go first. I'll give you a moment. I'll give you a moment.
Yeah. Give me a moment. What you got?
So my random ass question, I was thinking of this like a couple of weeks ago when I was doing my laundry. This is really random. But my question is, why does the hot water in the washing machine fill up quicker than the cold water? Seriously, if you go and you turn on so I use warm water for white clothes, right? So usually I turn the cold water on for my dark clothes. I turn it on. It takes forever for it to start filling up before I put my little laundry detergent in and put my clothes in. But the same amount of time that it'd take me to walk back into the other room to grab my white clothes, the washing machine is already filled up with the warm water. And I missed, and I'm like, why is that? Why does the warm water fill up faster? So that's so random. That's a random what if, why question.
Oh, that's a trip. I don't know.
So next time you do your laundry, you gotta be like,
wait plumbing. Man, now I'm like looking at. I'm like, I gotta go try that out today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a trip.
Yeah. All right. So what's yours?
Yeah. Random question would be, why is it can never find? That's it. Why is I can never find that one light that's responsible? On those Christmas lights where they string across. Why is it I can't find like half of it is lit, the other half just died? You can't find that one that's responsible for that whole half to be dead and replace it. It comes with replaced lights, like okay, but you can never find the one that is responsible that kills the link for the other half of the lights. But you have a replacement, but you don't know which one it is. It's like, why you can never find that one? The one that's the cause. That was my Christmas nightmare.
Oh wow, that's super random. And then they don't even give you enough replaceable light bulbs to replace a whole row of them. They just give you like one or two.
Yeah, give you one or two because supposedly there is the one that's the catalyst that launches.
That's crazy.
If one goes out, then that one goes out. Then that section goes out. But it's like, well, which one is that? It's not even marked. Help a brother out, man. It's not even marked.
Hey, that's why I don't fuck with Christmas lights. So I see that. I see. So you had the blues this holiday season trying to figure out that little bulb.
Oh, it was ugly.
So you did figure it out. That's the conclusion.
No, I just went to Dollar Tree and bought some more.
Oh, okay.
I tossed it.
You said fuck the whole thing.
Fucked it. It's too bad. I took the loss.
I got you. Cool. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I really appreciate it. I
appreciate you.
Yeah, all love. Thank you.
Oh yeah, brother. Please keep going strong. Please keep going strong.
For sure.
We need you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you for listening to today's show. Once again, I'm your host. My name is Sean Aaron. Be sure to share this show out with folks in your networks. If you would like to connect with us, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can also visit our website at dembois.org. That's DEMBOIS.org. If you think you will make a great guest on the show, or maybe you have a question for myself or a future guest that you would like to hear answered on the show, please send an email to hello@dembois.org. That's HELLO@dembois.org. Until next time, take care.